short. Oh, I probably should have. Okay. We are currently live, by the way.
See, I'll do some Persona 5, actually. Because aren't I fancy?
Oh, yeah, let me make this the correct thing. Now we can start on Twitch. And then I'm gonna...
You stream on YouTube, numbnuts.
Go ahead and... Okay, no, now it's not doing what I want it to. Oh wait, that's because that's the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, now I can go... Now I can go snag the,
You have a minute? Looking for something, right?
This...
What? Oh, see what I did? I'm sorry. Please, no late. You can dig around with...
Create... Alright. I'm gonna send this to the group. Chat numbers is showing, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and here's the other one. This one. Alright, so hello and welcome. This is my first ever matchup chart with this is the first ever time I've made a matchup chart. This is a little out of proportion now because I swapped screens on let me fix the scale here.
Central Street. I'm gonna jet for now, but I'll try and catch you later if I'm available.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya. Alright, so first up is let's toggle echoes, yeah. So first up is Banjo. I'm gonna put Banjo in +1 because Greninja's faster than Banjo, can weave in on the projectiles. But can struggle from time to time. Hello. Hello, chat. Let me pop out the YouTube chat so I can actually read it. I got it. Oh, whoops. No. Close a bit, minimize it. Sorry, I'm just so much right now. That should work. Yeah. All right. So right now, next up is Bayonetta. I'm gonna place it in even because I think it's really based on the lead. Bayonetta can struggle to kill, but Greninja is is able to combo. Greninja can kind of slip away from a lot of the kill options and play patient. It's really based on who has the lead, in my opinion. Bowser, I'm going to place him +2. You combo him. He's a heavy. All he really has is up. He had a shield. And, like, he reads you once. Bowser Jr. can go in +1 because he can be a little hard to catch sometimes. And he's really difficult to edgeguard. Byleth, I'm going to place him +2. It's Greninja vs. Sword character. Falcon, even. He's just as fast as Greninja and can kill you just as easily. Chrom +2. Actually, if you know the matchup, it's +2. This is assuming, like, high level. Cloud, I think, is even because it's hard to punish him. Corrin +1. Can kind of just anti-air a little bit. Peach and Daisy, I'm going to place in even. It's really just who plays patient more. Alright, I'm going to do Diddy Kong is -2. Really difficult matchup. Dark Pit and also Normal Pit. I'm going to put in +1 because they have stuff. They can do stuff. Donkey Kong +2. This is assuming tournament. Dr. Mario +2. Duck Hunt even. Greninja can struggle against zoners sometimes. Okay. Fox, I'm going to put in -1. He just does what Greninja does, but better, in the words of Light himself. Inkling. +1. The only thing they really have in the matchup is back air, and they can bury you. Falco +1 combos you can't really combos you to high damage. Gindorf +2. Hero +1 because RNG. Ice Climbers. I think are gonna be +1 because desyncs can make it hard. If your tournament and you know the matchup, sure. Ike, you can just cheese him with up B if you know the timing. Ensign, +1 because Revenge is the great equalizer. Isabel, I'm gonna place an even because character can kind of be difficult to fight sometimes. Joker, I'm gonna place in even because Arsene. I think Greninja can really mess up Joker on edge guarding. Y'all can hear me, right? Like, yeah, okay. Y'all should be able to hear me. All right. That works for that. That'll work. But he can be hard to hit and can get damage sometimes. Jigglypuff, I'm gonna put +1. Kazi, I'm gonna put even because Greninja win. Actually, +1 because the 0 to death can just win. Ken, and by extension Ryu. You basically, you just exist and they can't win the matchup. DDD, +2, obviously. K. Rool, +2. Kirby, +1. I really should have thought this through. Obviously these two are pretty self-explanatory. Kirby, because he's small, he can be hard to hit sometimes. And he's actually got really good normals up close. Hard to whiff punish. Link, I'm gonna put in +1 because you can kind of just screw him up on the what's it called? Off stage with Hydro Pump. Little Mac, +2. It's Little Mac. Lucario, I'm gonna put in +1 because Aura. Lucas, I'm gonna put an even. Because it can sometimes be hard to get in against the zoning and good spacing tools. Lucario Aura can just kind of do that. I'm gonna put Lucina and Marth in +1. Just because. Actually, I'm gonna put Marth in +2 because he relies on tippers. Lucina can kind of do well. Lucina, since she doesn't rely on tippers, is pretty good. Luigi, I'm gonna put in -1 because if he gets the grab, even actually because he gets the grab. Mario can go in +1. He can't. It's. I don't know why, but I think it's just +1. Mega Man, I think, goes in -1. Meta Knight, I think is kind of Kirby syndrome where he's hard to hit, but he's also better. Mewtwo is +1. Me Brawler is +1. Gunner, I think. And then Sword Fighter. Minmin, I think, is even because you have to get in on her, which is really difficult. Mr. Game & Watch, I think is even. I think people just struggle at fighting the character. I think Ness is an even matchup. Pac-Man can be pretty difficult. Palu, I think, is even. Pikachu, I think, is a -1. Pichu, I think, is even because he can be hard to hit. Olimar, I think, could go in -1. Piranha Plant can go in +1 just because now the character's actually somewhat good. Pokemon Trainer I'll put in +1. This is such a bad stream. This was a terrible stream idea, dude. Yeah. Zero Suit, I think, is even. Aegis, I think, is +2. I think, outside of online, that matchup is genuinely unwinnable. Given both players are equal skill and know the matchup equal as well, I think the matchup's just unwinnable for Aegis. Richter, I'm gonna put an even, edgeguard him. Ridley, I'm gonna put +2. Rob, I'm gonna put +1. I think it's just the character being good. Robin, +1. Rosaline and Luma, -1. Puppet characters. It's another case where Greninja can't really get in. Roy, I'm gonna put an even just cause he can be difficult to fight and he can mash. Samus, I'm gonna put in -1. Sephiroth, +1 because you just get in on them. Greninja is just better Sheik, but Sheik has something. Shulk, I'm gonna put in +1. Snake, I'm gonna put in -1 because it's not unwinnable. Sonic, I think I'm gonna put Sonic in -1 because you're only a little slower. Hello, chat. Sora, I'm gonna put an even because Zora's DLC in his owner. Steve, I'm gonna put in +1. I think Greninja beats Steve. I think that Steve is just really good, but I think Greninja beats Steve. Greninja beats Terry. I think Toon Link is bad because he makes it really difficult, and I think Young Link is even. Villager, I'm gonna put in even for the same reason as Isabelle, which is that zoner and good normals. Wario, I'm gonna put in -1. Wii Fit, I'm gonna put in +1. I think that Greninja can just get in on Wii Fit because her zoning, despite her being a zoner, isn't that good. Zelda, I think, is +1. I think Yoshi is even. I think Wolf is +1. That's the matchup chart. This was a bad matchup chart. This was a bad matchup chart. Alright, I want to go through all my reasoning right now, though. So first off, Bowser is heavy. Byleth, it's Byleth Greninja. If you've seen that matchup played once before, you know it's bad. You know it's bad. Chrom, you can just cheese him off stage. Actually, I think Chrom is +1 because he doesn't have to worry about sweet and sour spots. Dr. Mario is Dr. Mario. Donkey Kong, it's Donkey Kong Greninja. Really, the only thing you can struggle with is killing. Ganondorf because Ganondorf. Ike is kind of a similar boat to Chrom, where you can kind of cheese him if you get the timing right, and it's easier offline. Ken and Ryu, because I talked to I asked Jazzo in his chat once, and what Jazzo said was that Shotos basically can't hit Greninja unless you let them hit you, so. DDD is just bad. K Rule is kind of just. Heavies, I think Greninja just beats, obviously. Little Mac is Little Mac. You cheese him off stage. He can't really catch you because you can just air camp him. Marth, because Marth. Well, you're basically. One, Greninja just counter sword characters, in my opinion. Marth relies on tippers, and Greninja can just kind of stay in that range where, like, you know, he won't hit the tipper. Aegis is the one I have the most thoughts about because I genuinely think that outside of online, Aegis Greninja, given we're assuming equal skill level, equal matchup knowledge. I think Greninja Aegis is unwinnable for Aegis. I think Greninja beats Aegis that much. The only reason it's even good online is because Mythra's hard to punish. Like, if there's a skill gap, it's easily winnable for Aegis, but outside of that, not happening. Ridley is the same thing as all the other heavies. So for Kirby, Kirby is small. He's got good normals, low end lag, hard to whiff punish. And he can just kind of mess you up if you don't get him off you. Korin, I think, can anti-air Greninja pretty well. Banjo and Kazooie, I think their zoning is really good, and I think that they can really pose an issue for Greninja. But I think Greninja wins the matchup anyway. Bowser Jr. is an interesting one because he can kind of do the same thing Sonic can with edge guarding and recovering. But I think Greninja wins. So let me explain my mentality a bit more. So with Bowser Jr., I think that he's got good combos, but he has to land the grab first. I think that he's got decent setups with Mecha Koopa, but I think that Greninja wins just because you can get in on him and kind of like keep him trapped. Pit and Dark Pit, I think Greninja just wins. Like, they don't really have much cheese. I feel like you need some sort of cheese in the in this matchup, and they just don't have a tool to really cheese. Outside of like, or you need to have something to like easily get a kill, and they don't have that really. Hello, hello, sir. Nice to meet you. So for Inkling, I think it's not free, but I think Greninja wins solely because I used to not know the matchup, and now I think I know the matchup, and I think Greninja just wins the matchup. Because they have back air, but really, it's pretty predictable. That's like their best neutral tool. Um, you can combo them pretty hard. They can combo you hard back, but I think that, if they do like aerial roller to get back onto the stage, you can just react with a jump back air. Hero, I think Greninja would hard beat Hero if it weren't for RNG. If he could not crit and kill you at like 40, it would be +2. Ice Climbers, I think Greninja can separate them pretty well and keep them separated with his speed, but the issue is getting in. And like, if you get decent combos, you're basically just dead. Incineroar, I think Incineroar doesn't outright lose anything because of revenge. Just making him way too strong. Jigglypuff? I think it's just kind of hard to hit, like hard to punish sometimes. Plus, like being able to, rest combo you and score easy kills with rest. But you can kill her just as easily with like you're to like 50%, 60% down tilt up smash. Kazuya, I think Greninja beats Kazuya. I struggle against Kazuya a lot. But I think if you know what you're doing, like the only real thing that gives Kazuya any edge in this matchup is that he can zero to death. And like he's DLC. He just has so much broken stuff that he can't possibly lose. I'd place it in even, but people would wonder why. Like he hurtbox shifts a lot. Greninja just hurtbox shifts with back air, and you know Kazuya can lose to multi hits. Link I think can really annoy you with his projectiles, but he has the worst recovery out of the three Links, and you can kind of just edge guard him a lot if you read where he's going. Lucario I think would be +2 if he didn't have his aura mechanic, because that can really turn the game around, but otherwise. Lucina, I think, is just better Marth, but I still think Greninja wins the matchup. Mario can be kind of tricky, because he has good airs, and Greninja really thrives in the air, and you can't... It's hard to anti-air him. But if you know what you're doing, and you can keep him on the ledge, like, a lot of Marios like to jump Fireball from the ledge, and so you can just read that with, like, you can read it, back air it on reaction. Mewtwo, I think, can be a pain for Greninja because kind of just a weird floaty character. Sometimes difficult to combo, but I think Greninja wins. Me Brawler, I think, is pretty difficult because of the combos, the combo game that he has, but you just win, and if you can win neutral, all you have to do is stop him from winning neutral, and you can win. Me Sword Fighter, I think, is a similar situation to Brawler where you should win, but it should be +2, but the ability to combo and also kind of have, zoning tools, where if you get hit, you could just die, like with Tornado if they use that. Tornado into up B. Piranha Plant, I think, is actually +2. I'm gonna put it in +2. The only reason I put him in +1 is because Spargo. Zero Suit, I meant to put in even because they do kind of the same thing. Pokemon Trainer. So, the best character on Pokemon Trainer for combos is Squirtle. You already beat Withdrawal just with... You already beat Withdrawal with, just because your moves are water. Like, all your moves are, water elements, so it beats Withdraw anyway. Ivysaur, easy to combo. Charizard's a heavy, but can struggle to recover, and if you just read, like, a Flare Blitz, you can probably kill him. Richter and by extension Simon, their recovery is bad. Really, all you have to do is just catch them. Like, they can't really cover below or above them that well. Like, they have an easier time covering above them, so if you just, edge guard from below. Rob, I think, should be even, but I'm an optimist, and I think Greninja wins the matchup because of the big body. For Robin, really, if they don't have Levin's sword, it's just because they're resource management. Plus, they're slow. They can, and the recovery is pretty linear. Like all they really have is arc fire, where if you just like wait, like get in close and wait for it, it's pretty easy. Um, Sephiroth, in my opinion, Sephiroth is just not that good. Like, he's pretty easy. If you just wait for like an air, you can punish him. The only really thing that makes it not +2 is that he has a lot of range, so it can be hard to whiff punish him if he's like doing stuff. But really, if you just stay center stage, you should be able to win. Sheik, I think that Sheik is just a worse Greninja. She has things in the matchup because she's faster and her moves can be hard to punish, but really, Greninja wins. Shulk, I think, would be +2 if it weren't for Monado Arts. Because, like, being able to be faster than Greninja, you know, easy, have a better recovery, do more damage. I think what really screws him over is the, fucking, what's it called? Buster and Smash Arts, because, like, you're a combo character, and having more doing more damage on your combos and doing less knockback is really good for Greninja, especially with up air strings. Steve, a lot of people think Steve beats Greninja. I personally think Greninja beats Steve because of he's fast enough, he can maneuver around blocks really well. You know, he can get good combos, he can get good damage, and he can kind of weave around like minecart and whatnot. Terry, I think, just because Go Meter is +1, like just because he gets supers, but really, and he can be kind of hard to edge guard because he doesn't have to use a jump. Plus, like, he has hitboxes on his recovery moves, and he can just kind of launch himself across the stage. Wii Fit Trainer, I think that despite being a zoner, and Greninja sometimes struggling against zoners, is not a good enough zoner. Because they like to live on the ledge, so they just give you free stage control. Plus, even if they're not a ledge camper, Greninja's airs and normals just beat out Wii Fit Trainer's normals a lot. You just low profile stuff. Zelda, I think Greninja beats Zelda. I don't really think. Only thing is, like, you kind of have to play a little scared of Phantom, but I think it's only really good, like, online. I haven't really played a good, well, I haven't played a good Zelda in a while, at least not one able to give me a challenge. Like, I haven't played K-Flock yet. Hello. Hey, Gage. I don't think, personally, I think Steve is broken, yes, but I think Greninja has tools in the matchup that let him win. If you know, it's really depending on knowing how to fight Steve, because a lot of people just struggle with fighting Steve because it's Steve and they don't really know how to fight Steve. I'd put it even at worse, honestly. Anyway, back to this. Wolf, I think, isn't. I think Wolf can struggle against Greninja, but I think that only really I'm saying this is because I remember I played against N. Seaton, who you should go keep an eye out for his next stream. Go follow him. Keep an eye out for his next stream. He's a pretty good player. And he had the latency mod, right? Which gives him a 3-frame advantage. I did not at that time have the latency mod, and I was still able to take 2 games off, and we did a best of 5. Like, I think Greninja beats Wolf. I think it's just Wolf can be a difficult character to fight because he's such a solid character, but I think Greninja wins the matchup. And then I already gave you my reasoning for Crom. For Cloud, I think that Cloud's arrows are really safe. They have good range. You know, they're hard to punish, and he can kill you pretty easily. I think that's mostly a Wi-Fi thing, though, but I honestly just think that his good aerials plus limit, giving his aerials even more safety and like survivability is just good. I think Bayonetta isn't -1. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just a difficult character to fight because of how weird she is and how her moves work. But like I've been beating not Greninja. I've been beating Bayo players consistently, at least on Wi-Fi with Greninja, and I think Wi-Fi is much harder to fight Bayo on as Greninja because you can't react to her stuff as well. Captain Falcon is just as fast as Greninja, can combo you very well, and can kill you really early. But you can kind of edgeguard him if you know what you're doing. Peach and Daisy, good combos, obviously. Really, it would be -1, but if they're doing like their float downers and whatnot, you can kind of wait for them. So really, you can beat them. It's just a matter of like discipline. I think if you're disciplined, it's even. Like if you have enough patience, it's even. Because both characters are going to want to try and use the air. And like you can zone them out with projectiles and force them to approach. Duck Hunt, I think, is difficult, but I think it's very much winnable because Greninja is just a good character. Like zoners that can like Duck Hunt controls space very well and can limit where you can move as Greninja, which makes it harder to play a character that focuses so much on movement because your moves don't always work right. But I think Greninja has the tools for it to be even. Villager and Isabelle are I'm gonna lump together because they're kinda Echo fighters. They're both difficult to fight. They're both kind of weird to fight. I'd argue Isabelle is actually -1 because she can kind of camp behind Lord Rock and doesn't have to approach. Villager kind of eventually has to approach. Joker, a lot of people say Greninja loses to Joker. I think Greninja, or they say beat Joker. I think it's personally, in my opinion, it's even. It's an even matchup because they're both kind of have a similar game plan. Yes, Greninja technically has a harder time killing because Joker has Arsene. But like you can kind of camp out Arsene. Lucas, I think, is just zoner syndrome where like can kind of struggle to get in, but he can't control space nearly as well. Plus, his edge guarding really isn't that good. Luigi, I think, even just because 0 to death, like you get grabbed once and you just die. Min, I think, uh, every Min player says Greninja is -3. For it to be a -3, you have to get in, and given that everyone is not Doramigi, there's only one Doramigi, and Doramigi's the only person who really can do stuff with Min. I think it's even because Greninja has the tools to get in, but at the highest level, like Doramigi, it's probably gonna be whooping your ass if you're Greninja. Maybe other than Tower, I don't know. Mr. Game & Watch, I think is even. I think you can outrange him. I think you can play patient and win. You can do good damage and just play patient. Ness, I think, despite being like able to mash a lot, which Greninja can sometimes struggle with because like he can struggle against characters that are really safe because he can't whiff punish them as easily. You have much better range than him, especially if you use fair. Just basically just get your safe damage and you're good. Palutena, I think, is a really annoying matchup because she can be really difficult to hit, but I don't think she's good enough that it's -1. Pichu is a pain in the ass to hit, but damages himself. Pichu's really small, and he can camp you out, but he damages himself. So really, you just have to like, weave around Thunder Jolt and kind of get your damage where you can. Roy, I think, would be +1, but he's just able to kill you so easily. sometimes. And he's a masher like Chrom, but he just doesn't have the like cheesable recovery as easy. Sora, I think, is a difficult matchup for even. But I think it's winnable because it's a sword character and Greninja defeats sword characters. But Sora's a weird blend of zoner and sword character where he has like zoning tools, but he can't really control space outside of using thunder. Really, he's not. I think the only real thing is like at the top level you're gonna run into people who like assuming you're the top level, you're gonna run into people who know how to do Sora combos. Like someone who knows how to do those combos. Young Link, I think, is actually -1 online. Offline, I think you can deal with projectiles much better, and I think it's winnable. I think it's even. Yoshi, I think, just is a weird character to fight. Zero Suit Samus is another character. Okay, yeah, let me actually give an explanation on Yoshi. So for Yoshi, you can kind of struggle to kill him and edgeguard him, and he can sort of screw you up on stage. Plus, he's really good edgeguarder, and he's really safe on shield. He can mash a lot. He has good range on his aerials, but really, if you're good enough, it's even because Greninja has the tools to beat Yoshi. Zero Suit Samus is a really annoying character to fight as Greninja because she's safe. She can flip jump away. She can basically just say no to your edge guards. But a lot of her moves are the same as Greninja, where they just don't work. She too can struggle to kill, and I think that fair is a much more consistent kill option than back air. Really, she doesn't have many good kill setups. Greninja has down tilt up smash. And I think that just makes it even because you can both kind of weave around each other. Now on to -1, and first up we have Olimar, or Pikmin and Olimar. So for Olimar, I think that Pikmin being able to do a lot of damage and kind of like, you know, be annoying plus blue Pikmin makes it really difficult to win as Greninja because they can be hard to get off. They go on random spots, and you have to basically you can't nair blue Pikmin, which is the best way to get Pikmin off you. But I think Greninja can win, which is why it's on -2. Plus Pikmin, Olimar is short and can be hard to hit sometimes, can be weird to combo. Plus he has down B that just gives him super armor. Me Gunner controls space really well, especially with bomb drop, and can just really limit where Greninja can move and how Greninja can move, and that's really not good for, well, Greninja. Because he relies on this movement so much. Fox is basically just Greninja, but better, in a sense. Because they both use dash attack a lot. They both have a combo into up smash to kill, but Fox is just better, more consistent moves. You know, he has a more spammable kill move. Falco, I think, would be even, but I think you can make an argument for Falco to be even, but his combos are just so good and they do so much damage that if you get hit once, you're taking like at least 50, 70 even. And you can't, you can't really make up that damage easily as Greninja. Like, you don't have just a true combo where you can make up that damage as Greninja. For Mega Man, Jab just makes it so hard to get in. Plus, he has good zoning tools, but I honestly think Greninja can win the matchup really easily because Mega Man can struggle against Rushdown. Meta Knight. Difficult to edge guard, right? Which is one of Greninja's like main things. He's also got good combos. He can technically 0-to-death you. But it's fucking Meta Knight, dude. Like, it's not Brawl Meta Knight. And he's also basically just Kirby. He has a really similar hitbox. I think it might be the same. But he's also hard to hit and can be weird to combo and has good normals. You know, hard to punish sometimes. Pac-Man? Just zoner. Really difficult to get in on. And then once you do get in on him, it's really difficult. Pikachu just has really good tools against Greninja. Right? T-Jolt can really control when you have to move. He has good normals, good aerials. You know, he's just such a good character. His combos are really damaging. He can really just mess you up. Rosaline and Luma. Luma is basically just zoning. And makes it really hard to actually get in on Rosalina. Plus, Rosalina isn't helpless without Luma. But Greninja's fast enough that she can technically, or that he can technically separate them. For Samus, basically it's just the same thing as other zoners, except you have an easy kill option. Snake, same thing as the zoners. Grenade makes it really annoying to get good damage on him. He has a lot of setups. Greninja can struggle against, like, getting in on him. Sonic, Greninja struggles against Sonic. Fast character, can air to air him. Can catch his landings with dash attack. Can't. One of the few characters able to actually edgeguard Greninja effectively. Spin dash covers a lot. Able to combo you for a lot of damage, which you can't really answer back from in one string. Such a good character. But you are similar enough speed that you can also play the camping game. Like, if you use projectiles, you can kind of, force him to hold off and try and go for different options, and then you can maybe anti-air him if you bait him into it. Toon Link is just similar to Young Link, except the bombs are really difficult to deal with. He has a lot of annoying projectiles. I'd actually put it in even, but honestly, yeah, because Greninja got the speed to get in, but Toon Link just controls space really well. Wario, really difficult character to fight as Greninja, because Greninja you already can't really afford to make mistakes against. Wario can do a lot of damage with his combos. Just a really good character. And then Waft, he can combo into Waft and just kill you really early, so you have to play really well. And then for Diddy Kong, this is another character I've thought about a lot. So, with Diddy Kong, right? He has Banana. You don't want to get hit by Banana, so you're going to try and play a little bit back to avoid getting hit by Banana and getting tripped. Greninja doesn't like being in the corner. Diddy Kong can easily force you into the corner. Really difficult character to get a hang on, because he's he's able to run away. He's able to play that slow game. You can't really shield against him because of Monkey Flip and Monkey Kick. He's able to combo you really well. He can combo you to hell and back. Good recovery, can be kind of difficult to edgeguard from time to time. Like, you can't get edgeguards on him, but I wouldn't count on it if you're playing against, a good one. If you're playing against a really good Diddy Kong. And he just has so much stuff that makes the matchup just so difficult for Greninja. But I still think even this isn't unwinnable. It's just really difficult. And that's the tier list. Okay. Yeah. And that's going to do it for this stream. It's a bit of a short one.